Hi guys, welcome back to the Mission Empowered podcast with me, your host Emily, and today I am joined by the beautiful Nic. I would just say you can see on screen. If you're watching, you'll see her. And we are going to talk about today's episode. It's going to be if we wanted to get started for summer and we wanted to get results by summer, what would we do? Before we get into the episode, Nic, introduce yourself, honey.
Thanks so much for having me. I appreciate it.
No problem.
So I'm Nic. I run an online fitness coaching company. Similar to Emily, I work with busy working women, 9-to-5 working women, women that just want to look, feel, and live a better life, managing a busy work schedule and just enjoying a social life at the same time. So that's what I've done for the past probably 5 years. But I'm also went back as a mature student this year to study a master's in dance science and education, and I specialise in working through the athletic development with dancers, which is something that I really needed when I was in the industry. I used to be a professional dancer before I was a coach. Unfortunately, I had a bad accident. My curtains closed in my career, but it's led me down a very exciting path of being able to help other people through their body confidence and help dancers to developing their athletic ability. So yeah, synopsis, quick one.
I love that, and that's what I just said before we press record. So one of my favourite things about doing the podcast is getting people on, having a quick 1 minute catch up, and then be like, right, I'm pressing record, and we're just going to capture it on camera. So me and Nic literally, right, hang on, let's go back, because I love people are nosy. People love being nosy. How do we know each other? So we probably met. Hang on, have we ever met in person?
Once.
When was that? Was it London?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Remember
London.
where did we go for dinner? We went for sushi.
Rocker.
Yeah.
It was amazing. Yes. So me and Nic know each other because I've had Ali on the podcast a few times, so everybody knows Ali Fraser. So
Yeah.
me and Nic met each other because we were in the same like mentoring thing, wasn't it? We met online, hit it off really well, and then just again, it's good to keep connections in the coaching industry, isn't it? It's a fucking can be lonely. Not if I'm on your radar or like, yeah. And then every so often, maybe like once a year, me and Nic will voice note each other. I'll be like, "Oh my god, you've got married, you've got a boyfriend, you've got a dog, you're having a baby." And yeah, so we catch up like that. And then I think you messaged me, didn't you, saying I didn't know you were pregnant, and I was like, "Come on the podcast."
That was the first response. I was like, how have I just recognised that you are pregnant? And then the first thing I responded was, hiya babe, we need to get you in the podcast.
I know, because do you know what? I'm going through a very much of a chatty era on the podcast. I just think sometimes doing our job, it can be quite lonely, can't it? And don't get me wrong, there are some stuff that I love doing on my own with the podcast, but it's also so nice, I think, about podcasts that I listen to, and I much prefer at the moment listening to chatty podcasts. Do you listen to podcasts?
I do. I listen to them in the car. Like, see, because I'm driving back and forth, like, to Edinburgh and Fairmont from I live in Glasgow, for anyone that understands that. Like, hour-long drives there and back, hour-and-a-half long drives. Like, yeah, 100% I'm a podcast listener.
Yeah, so I listen to podcasts and I just like to have them, not even necessarily on in the background, but just like you said, if I'm driving somewhere, if I'm off on a walk. You know what it is for me? If I'm off on a walk and I've been doing work on my own, and then I'm like, I want to listen to a podcast with other people talking.
Yeah.
So sad that, isn't it? But yeah, so that's why I'm just going through my chat ears. That sounds like, let's get you on the podcast. So yeah, Nic, by the way, when she says dancing career, absolutely phenomenal dancer. And are you still doing a bit now or totally not?
So
you did go back into it a little bit, didn't you?
I did. I done one pantomime contract, but my health, so long story short, I had a bad accident. My health couldn't cope, and it was just a whole thing. So my health conditions flare up too much when there's that amount. Like when I was doing 12 shows a week that were 2.5 hours long, twice a day. Like it's a lot. So my body couldn't cope with that. But I still teach. And I still try and take classes when like my symptoms are in a good place. So I have been in a good place recently, so that's why you'll see some videos up on my page. But yeah, I do take classes when I can. And I still teach in multiple different locations, which is nice. So
Yeah, I love
connected.
seeing your dancing videos. Really, really cool. But yeah, and then ultimately, me and Nick do the same job. Well, similar job, both coaching. I know that you, we're just on like that same page of wanting to empower women,
Yep.
and through health, through nutrition, through exercise, so all of that good stuff. And yeah, so today around the houses, we are going to talk about, if anyone is listening and you're not one of our clients or you're not working with a coach at the moment, and you want to know, all right, what is the most efficient way for me to start seeing results pre-summer, that isn't going to drastically affect my health? Because I know both of us, especially you in the dancing industry, and me, it sounds pathetic, but I went to dance college, so a little bit of that background. But I remember the first day I went to dance college, which now knowing you is really annoying. One of the first things I got told in dance college was I'm too short to be a dancer, but you
Yeah.
are freaking tiny. How tall are
Yeah.
you?
I'm 5'5", so I'm short,
Oh,
but like,
yeah, be like my height
yeah, but I do get you because I think I don't know. Sometimes I think sometimes I look like a small 5'5", and sometimes I look like a taller 5. Do you get what I mean by that?
then. Yeah, you do look like a petite 5'5", I think. Yeah, maybe I was just shit, and they were just trying to be nice and not tell me I was shit, and just like, oh, you're too small. But yeah, so I've got a dancer background, and I think both of us come from that background of seeing damaging relationships with food, exercise, stuff like that. So I think, yeah, for us, it's all keeping about health in mind, but you can absolutely keep health in mind and still diet well and still get results. So, let's get into it. So that's what we're going to talk about today. I have got basically 5 points. You have got some points written down, haven't you? Okay. Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first with the number one?
Why don't you go first, and then we'll just alternate. You and me, you and me, you and me.
Perfect. Okay. So and I've just quickly read these out to Nick, but she might agree, she might disagree. My biggest thing when it comes to any type of diet, any type of getting things in motion to get results, is being fucking organized. If you are not organized and you are not planned with what you're going to do, your results are going to be very short lived, or your momentum in doing the things is going to be short lived. Because if you're not planned and organized, as we know, life throws curveballs at us. And if we don't know what we're doing and that curveball comes, you're going to drop the ball on doing the things you need to do to get results. So for me, it's being organized, and that starts with sitting down and writing out, okay, what are my meals that I'm having? That's probably the first thing. What does my day look like? How busy am I? Where is my time? I don't know whether you recommend this with your clients. Is just like, you can't start tracking your food if you don't know what food you're going to track, and if you don't know what food you're going to track, then you obviously haven't planned to go to the shops. And do you know what I mean?
100%. I totally agree. I always kind of say with my clients as well, like, make the appointment with yourself like you do everything
Yeah.
else. Like, I'm sure you go get your nails done. I'm sure you have meetings at work. I'm sure you go and meet your mum for coffee. Like,
Mhm.
put the meeting in your diary with yourself, because without that, you're not serving yourself to then serve everyone else around you.
Mhm. Mhm. And absolutely, when people think, because that is a great piece of advice, and I know the barrier of that is, oh, I'm not doing that because it's not important. Well, there is your answer to why you're not getting results, is because if you want to change habits and change things and put things in place, they have to be at a level of importance. Like you said, the same as getting your nails done, the same as your work meeting, the gym goes in, or even to the point, so something I say to people, and I just wanted to speak about this maybe on a reel. I get confused between when I've said it to a client on a reel on Instagram, but about eating windows. So if you're planning your week, I say to clients, like, put in your diary, I'm going to eat breakfast between like 7 and 7:30 every day. I'm going to eat lunch between 12 and 1 every day. And I know that can seem probably either silly or simple, but if you're like, actually, I don't give myself an eating window, I just grab things when I'm hungry. Well, actually, when you're hungry, it's probably when you
Really?
finish work and you're not thinking about, like, you haven't got anything else distracting you, and you think, I'm starving.
Yep. Totally agree.
So
And
yeah.
spacing your food out as well, like you're saying, like eating windows, it allows you to not get to the end of the day feeling like you have to eat everything that's inside your cupboards. If you've let yourself get to the end of the day and you've like, I also don't understand the forget to eat thing, right? Because see, when I'm hungry, I actually can't focus. Like, I am a grumpy person. I can't focus. Like, my brain shuts off. I just pure to get distracted. So
Yeah.
if you're someone that is so busy that they forget to eat, you're making so many decisions through the day. Come to the end of the day, you can guarantee that no quote unquote like well made decision is going to be made when it comes to your food, because you're too hungry, you're too tired, and you've got decision fatigue from all the things that you've done through the day, which I'm sure are probably super important, but so are you. You deserve to put the time into yourself like you are your job or your career or whatever.
Exactly. And if you listen to this podcast, it's because you want to get results before summer, and it has to be in an importance of being planned and being organised. And okay, just to wrap up this point then, my biggest thing on being organised is do it the day before. The night before, plan your day, plan your food, do it for the future you, and wake up that next day and know that your food's planned in. Your workout clothes are in the bag by the door so you can go after work, or your trainers are, you know what I mean? Your clothes left out. Like, do it the night before so that when you're not trying to be organised, as well as brushing your teeth, combing the hair, sorting the kids and stuff as well.
Yeah. That was my first one, to be fair, was prep the night before. Like if
Yeah.
you're doing it, you've got so many decisions to make to the day with your work, like your home life and cleaning and cooking and all these things, that you've got so many plates to juggle. Make one less decision that you have to make in the morning. And I think the morning is a good opportunity to start your day how you want it to be and how you want it to go. So if you're waking up humming and hawing, and if you're going to go to the gym, or if you've even got time to go to the gym and you've not prepped
Yes.
that for the day, that's one more decision that you're then fatiguing yourself with, that's going to limit your progress in like maybe a work decision, maybe in a like a fitness decision. So do it the night before, so it's one less thing that you need to think about. And like you're saying, grab and go, and do it before you want to think about getting it done, because then I always kind of think, well, I don't, if people say I don't have the motivation to get up early and do it, but you create that motivation by doing it. You don't get to feel motivation before you've done it. You have to earn that feeling. So get prepped the
Yes.
night before, get up, do it before you kind of feel like you're ready for the day, and that will set you up, and that motivation will make you feel better for the day.
100%. I love that our points collided
We
with each
clashed.
other. But yeah, no, I do love that you bang on, by the way, babe. Like, if you're just to touch on what you said there about when a lot of people say I'm not motivated in the morning to do it, like, that's because you're tasking your brain with coming out of sleep and then thinking straight away, am I going to the gym? I'm not going to. Like, make the decision the night before. Get organised, get planned. The decision's made. There's no wavering. You wake up, you're out the door, or your shoes are on, or whatever. And yeah, love that. Okay, so number 2 on my list, which is, again, I feel like people are going to listen to this and be waiting for, like, drastically reduce your calories, or, you know, fucking eat a stick of celery and do 10 star jumps. Yeah, like, we're not doing that. Being prepped and organised is number 1. Number 2 for me is drink your water. Drink 3 to 4 litres of water per day. If you're only drinking 1 litre now, start drinking 2 litres. If you're drinking 2 litres, drink 3 litres, you know. But I just think, get your water in, because we are literally a nation of chronically dehydrated people, which leads to being demotivated, you know, feeling hungry when actually we're just thirsty, not, you know, sleeping well, like all of this stuff. And all we have to do is drink water. And again, I feel like people are like, is that it? But yeah, that's it. And you're not doing that. And that's why you're not getting the results. Like, I'm sure you've had this, Nick, as well. But start, when you tell people come and work with us and you say, like, the first 2 weeks, like, we're really going to nail on you drinking water. And then they get 2 weeks and they're like, I can't believe it. Like, I've lost X amount on the scales because your body's doing a big flush out. My skin's better. I'm pooing more. I'm not bloated. And they're like, you know, I can't, you know, is it this, is it that? And no, it's drinking water, babe.
Drink water. You're
Yeah.
hydrated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to elaborate on anything that I just said about the water thing.
I think you nutshelled it. To be fair, I do think as well. Just we spoke. Well, I've spoke about decisions a lot, but water helps your cognition. So if you are limiting your hydration, you're compromising your cognition, which means that you're making poorer decisions through the day, whether that be in work, home, fitness, whatever. So it's a really easy way just to start getting the feeling. Like, I think a lot of women wait for motivation to come. The motivation is, one, you earn it, but two, it's just a feeling of accomplishment. Motivation comes when you feel accomplished, when you do things that make you feel good, when you feel lighter and more energized. Drinking
Hmm.
water is a really simple way to do that. So grab the win through a super easy way. So no, I'm 100% on board with that. I think that's a very good one.
Think we can tie that in as well, like what we were saying about being planned and organised. Starting your day. Start your day with a pint of water, man. Like, hydrate before you caffeinate. Your body has just spent hopefully 7 to 9 hours being asleep, like cleansing. You go for that big, smelly, strong wee in the morning. Like, you need to top it up. Like, start your day with a big pint of water. Like you just said, it's a tick in the motivation box of, okay, that's first big task done. Like, let's move on with it. But you absolutely should be, putting water in your body before you putting coffee in, putting water in your body before you put food in. Like, get that hydration in. And just one thing on the fat loss, like we just touched on it, drinking water, like you said, cognitive function is huge. A lot of people in the afternoon, this is not what I was going to say, but I'll add that in a second. But like, a lot of people in the afternoon will sit at the computer and feel, what's the word, like sluggish, and they reach for a coffee when actually they're just probably massively dehydrated.
Mm-hmm.
Don't you love talking about water because it always makes you drink as well? I always
I know,
find
I'd
that
love
every
to talk
time
to you.
if I'm doing a check-in with the client and I'm like, so you need to drink water, blah blah blah, blah, like, yeah,
Yeah,
proper drinking it.
makes you so
The last thing I was going to say was to relate it to fat loss. Is that in really simple terms, think about water as your body's petrol. Is that when your body has got a full tank, everything's working optimally, including how it utilizes fat. If you're dehydrated, your body's fuel is running on empty. It's not going to be using its bodily functions as well as it could be. That is how I can massively relate it. If nothing else we've just said hits home with you, if you want to lose optimal body fat, drinking more water is going to help you do that.
Yep.
Like that's how you can relate it. But I hate just saying that because I feel like it's so much more important for everything else.
Yeah, I know, it's almost under, like, what's the word? Like, under, not represented. What's that word? Like,
Undermining.
undermined when it comes to fat
Yeah,
loss. Like, there's so many more
yeah.
things it could benefit.
And I think as well, just on that, drinking water, especially in summer, if you're wanting to wear, like, well, you can wear whatever you want, but if you're thinking, I want to wear a crop top but I suffer with bloat, the more water you drink, the better your body's going to be at managing water retention, which is going to give you the illusion of like a flatter stomach as
Yeah.
well. I don't know why I just said if you want to wear a crop top. Like, let's just move on to the next point. What did you have written down as your next point?
So my second one was half a plate of, like, volume foods, like veg,
Fucking love
salad,
it.
something like that, with at least your lunch and dinner. Now, this is so important because I often think that when women are going on to any sort of fat loss phase, they think eat less. And
Mm-hmm.
I think eating less comes with no energy, being
Yeah.
hangry, feeling demotivated, not having the ability to make decisions, not, like, just not feeling good. I want you to think less about eating less and more about eating more. And when I say
Mm-hmm.
eat more volume foods. And when I mean volume foods, I mean very nutrient dense foods that are lower calorie. So
Mm-hmm.
fruit and veg, like, again, it's simple. I'm sure you probably tried, but there's no limit really to fruit and veg. Like,
Mm-hmm.
make
Mm-hmm.
your plate as colorful as possible. And I always say to my clients, if you can fill your plate with half a food of volume, you're going to feel fuller for longer, you're going to feel more satisfied, your body's going to get the nutrients that it needs,
Mm-hmm.
and you're going to feel fresher, your skin's going to be nicer, you're not going to feel as bloated because you're eating
Mm-hmm.
fuel for your body that your body, one, wants and needs,
Mm-hmm.
and it will contribute to your fat loss goals because you're eating more for less calories.
100%. Yeah, I did a reel on volume foods because same as you, and I love that you use that word as well because that's a word that I use a lot. in terminology when it comes to fat loss is like volume foods are your best friend. And how I get my clients to structure their meals is they pick the protein first, because a lot of us aren't used to thinking about protein. Your second thing that you're thinking about on your plate is your fruit and vegetables. Like that there shouldn't be a point where you go, that's my protein, and then I just have some pasta with it. Like, you're missing such a huge, valuable part of that's gonna see you continue with fat loss. Because, like you said, eating less comes with having less energy, comes with bigger spikes in hunger. We know that when we're hungrier, we don't have the time to process, is this a good like it's in your mouth before you start thinking about it, isn't it?
Yeah.
So yeah, volume foods, love that one. And it's so funny that you said that, because my number 3 is protein, is getting your protein in. So I think having them together is absolutely, if you are on a mission to get a little bit trimmer for summer, lose some fat for summer, we spoke about organising, and we haven't got time to go into like MyFitnessPal and tracking calories, but even if you're not at the point of tracking calories and inputting it in MyFitnessPal, like Nick just said, if you can balance your meals with just thinking half a plate of fruit and veg, and then I'm getting my protein in. So having a protein source, my number 3 is having protein at every single meal. No misses. No misses. Especially like point 3B, breakfast. Like, breakfast is vital, because for me, if whatever you have for breakfast is then going to dictate the rest of your day. So if you have a croissant or a pain au chocolat for your breakfast, which we know is really fucking nice, but it's carbs and it's fats and it's minimal protein, we know that an hour after that, you're going to be on that sugar roller coaster. So you've had that spike, you've had that energy, you've got through that first morning meeting, and then you come crashing down. And then what do you need? What happens when you come crash down? You want more energy. So then you tend to go for maybe a coffee and a cereal bar, because it's too early. You know, you're having your lunch in an hour or whatever. Then you crash again off the cereal bar and the cafe on the coffee. So then at lunchtime, you're not really in the mood to go for the tuna salad. You want a quick sandwich, and that. Oh, sorry, it's the dog. I don't know if you can hear him. But then you are off on that roller coaster then. So protein at every meal, especially breakfast. So my go-to breakfast at the moment is, God, sorry, can you hear the dog? I
A
hope
little
the
bit,
podcast.
but you heard Brendan a minute ago, so
Okay,
they're
perfect.
talking to each other.
Yeah, so my go-to breakfast at the moment: eggs, ham, asparagus, wholemeal toast.
There you go. Bosh, done.
What's your go-to breakfast?
I'm a protein oat girl.
Okay, nice. I love protein. I do love protein oats, but I do sometimes. I don't know.
Do you know what? I have probably ate them every single day since I lived on the ship, like 7 years
Really?
ago. Yeah. I went through a phase of being a bit sick of them, but I used to always have them mid-afternoon. I don't know why I'm telling you this. Nobody actually cares. Mid-afternoon before the gym. But
Yeah.
nah, I used to like make eggs and all that for breakfast, but sometimes I just want to quickly just bang my oats in the microwave and get on with my day. So I just have oats.
Do you know what? I just frozen. It wouldn't have froze on the podcast, but do you know what my thing is with oats, right? I think it takes me too long because I really fucking jazzy them up. So I have actually got a saved meal in MyFitnessPal called Strong Breakfast. Cringe. And it is fabulous. And I made it for Ollie the other weekend. He was like, babe, this is unreal. And I was like, I know. And that's probably why I don't have it every morning, because I have oats with my protein powder. I have frozen berries on it. I have chia seeds on it. I put peanut butter powder on it, a little bit of honey, some cinnamon, and then fresh berries. And sometimes I put a dollop of Greek yogurt on it. So basically, do you know what I mean? It's less like protein, it's more like a fucking sundae. And that's probably why I don't eat it every day. But even all of that comes in at like under 500 calories.
Yeah.
It's not like an extreme. And obviously, eating that, I think I can need a nap afterwards. But it's such like we were saying before about variety of food and different textures, and it's so fibrous. Like, you know, you've got oats, you've got chia seeds, you've got berries in there. It's high protein. Like, it's a really good meal. But I think, I don't know, maybe it's just a bit too extravagant for me. to have
I
every day.
judge the frozen berries. I don't know why I can't get on board with frozen berries on oats.
No, they're microwaved and then they go on.
I still can't. Don't know why. I went through a phase of
So good.
frying peaches with honey and putting that on. But again, takes time, and sometimes I don't have that time. So bang some berries on. I love to jazz it up with a square of Lindt chocolate, but I change it up all the time. Sometimes I get the cranberry one, sometimes I get the caramel one, sometimes I get the orange one. And I've also been adding a little scoop of pistachio cream.
Oh, I feel like pistachio cream is very fashionable at the moment.
I know I'm on a hype. Of course I'm.
Have you made it or did you buy it?
No, I bought it. I definitely didn't make it.
If anyone, what is pistachio cream? Is it literally pistachios and?
It's Nutella but pistachios in green.
Oh, it's actually chocolate. I'm gonna murder this dog.
I think so. Well, like when you get a pistachio croissant, it kind of tastes a bit chocolate. I don't actually know. Now I'm
just say you don't know, Nick, rather than making it up. Okay. But I feel like it's very fashionable at the moment. Yeah,
I know.
Right. So the last point that we'll talk about then on breakfast and protein is literally have whatever you want. I did a podcast the other day and I was talking about, can't remember, but the reason I know why I stopped having. So I used to have for my breakfast. Last little recommendation. I used to have Greek yogurt with cereal, fresh berries on, like that would be mine, and I'd have 250 grams, get my 30 grams of protein in at breakfast. Then, since being pregnant, my sweet tooth is absolutely ridiculous. Like, it was so bad in the first trimester that I was finding if I was starting my day with quite a sweet breakfast, the knock-on effect was not okay. That is why I changed to eggs. I've only recently changed that to a savoury breakfast. Because if you do have like an incline, I think for a lot of people, and I've only just started recommending this now, but for a lot of people, if one of their downfalls is eating high processed foods like biscuits, cereal bars, muffins, stuff like that, I'm more inclined now to recommend them to try and have a savoury breakfast and try and withhold from starting that sweet craving off. And it's worked for some of my clients. Some of my clients absolutely fine. Having, like, for example, protein oats, they love it, or having yogurt with fruit, they don't find it affecting. But I will say, if you are a sweet tooth gal, maybe starting the day with a savoury breakfast is just going to help withhold that sweet tooth from kicking in for the rest of the day. Because it has helped me. I prefer it now. But yeah,
I
so
totally agree with that, to be fair, because I'm the same. I always end my day with something sweet, and to be honest, I have it, like, obviously I have my oats, but then if I'm wanting something in the day, like, I will still grab a protein-based snack, so like a yogurt, a mousse, one of the protein peanuts, something like that. So like I'm basing it through the day, but like I totally get what you're saying. Like it does almost like kickstart that like sweet want.
It does. And when you're not pregnant, it's a lot easier to control than when you've got pregnancy sugar cravings. Fucking hell. I swear down. I used to be like, is it a little bit of willpower or using an excuse? I feel like the worst person for ever thinking that, because no, you're not. You genuinely, it's like part of your personality you never knew existed comes out. That's what it's like. So yeah, savoury breakfast for the win.
There we
but
go.
Yeah, girls, number 3 then is get your protein in every meal. Super simple. Make sure you're starting your day with protein in your breakfast. One of the biggest things I'm just going to say is caveat from that is cereal is it's not the best way to start your day. Cereal and milk, or grabbing a croissant or piece of jam and toast, it's not filling. It's going to cause you to be hungry an hour later. And as I said before, the reason I talk about protein at breakfast is because that is your first opportunity to decide whether that day is going to go better or not better. So that's why I'm saying get protein into your breakfast and start your day off with a win. And if you follow the other points of getting planned the night before and organising the night before, you can get it sorted. Okay. Is it me go? You go?
Me. I'm next.
Go on then.
Next one is less about like a food or a step goal, right? Yeah. It's kind of simple. Knife and fork down between bites. It's honestly so simple. But I think often, especially when we're in a dieting phase, we are over hungry, or we let ourselves get super hungry. And then when you let yourself get over hungry, or overly hungry, you end up wolfing your food down. You don't actually enjoy the taste of it, and you've not let your body digest it. You've not let it process it. You're feeling satisfied and full. Therefore, you probably finish your meal and then you're either in taking seconds or in the cupboard looking for a dessert. So knife fork down between bites, slow down and just be present with the food. Like, chew it, enjoy the texture, the taste. Like, you've went and made this food, or you've went and bought this food, you've been looking forward to it. Give yourself the opportunity to enjoy it. It'll feel more satisfying, and when you feel more satisfied, you're less likely to be in the cupboard reaching for something that you probably don't actually want. You've just ate too quick and haven't registered that you're full. So knife and fork down between bites, just to slow yourself down.
Yeah,
You'll
I
eat less
love
too,
that. I
probably.
love that 100%. And I remember years ago, it must have been when I, was doing my nutrition qualifications, and that comes up, and, it says, be mindful, take your time, eating your food, enjoy your food. It is crazy how when you take time to think about your food, which so many people don't do, you will recognize this food tastes really nice, or actually you'll be eating something thinking, I'm really not fussed on this. Like, and it just brings it back to like what meal timing should be, which should be enjoying it, enjoying the flavour. I've literally just filmed a reel, which is annoying because it made no sense when I recorded it, because it takes time to explain. But I talk a lot about hunger boxes, and that how when you're hungry, the answer isn't just eat food and done. You have to tick boxes for your body to register. Okay, I'm full, I'm satisfied. Like, you have to feel full. You have to enjoy the food. You have to let your brain and your digestive system register that you're eating a meal, for your body to then sort of tick that box to say, we're not hungry anymore. Like, for example, a lot of people who grab and go, we'll go back to this again, but like, for example, you're on in between work meetings, you run, you grab a sandwich, you eat the sandwich into your car or whatever. You are not giving your body time to register that you're eating, and you wonder why you're hungry an hour later. Or like we were saying before, Nick, about people who forget to eat, or people then forget what they've eaten because they just didn't give them the time to satisfy it. So then they're hungry, so then they overeat. So, like you said, a great point. Put your knife and fork down between bites, chew the food, eat the food, and just, give your body time. Give your body time to register that you're eating.
Yeah.
That's so powerful.
Yeah.
So I
And
think it's
if you
definitely something that a lot of people don't do.
100%, and if you struggle to put your knife fork down between bites, put them down to have a drink, like for another purpose. Because like, I
Yeah.
always find that when I do it, I feel so much less like bloated and sore and like just a bit uncomfortable. Whereas if you're someone that complains always feeling hungry and bloated, it's a simple way. Again, like, these are all really simple tools for you to go away and implement, that aren't overly complicated, that aren't overly hard. They're just little things that you can start to change that will allow you to see a big difference.
The massive difference, babe. Agreed. Yeah. Okay, so we've done organised, water, protein, half a plate of veggies. We did put your knife and fork down. We are now okay. It's funny because none of my losing weight for summer tips are workout based. This one is the most workout that we're going to do, and it's steps.
Yeah.
Steps are the most underrated fat loss movement tool that you can do. Like, genuinely better than, if there is a choice between my client driving to the gym, doing a spin class, or actually, and that takes her an hour, or going out for a walk for an hour, I'm like, go out for a walk for an hour. Go move your body and walk at a fast pace for an hour. I think that the biggest thing for me anyway, when it comes to steps, is the same. I've got really bad heartburn, sorry, Nick, and everyone listening, just turn me back. The same positive as it is what people perceive as a negative, which is it going to do anything now? Well, that's the glory of it, is that you don't have to get changed, you don't get sweaty, your brain isn't registering you've done a big amount of exercise, therefore it is not triggering that thought of, for example, I've done a spin class, I'm sweating, I'm hot, I'm now going to go and eat a pack of Maltesers because I've done a spin class. It doesn't have that same effect, yet you are using calories, you are getting your heart rate up, you are improving cardiovascular, like, you are moving, you are getting fat loss results, but you're not having that connective thought of I've done exercise. So as much as some people perceive that as a negative, I perceive it as a positive in your fat loss, is that you're doing like secret movement.
Secret movement. I love that.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, to be honest, that actually ties in with my next one, was go for lunch and a walk on your lunch break, because like you're saying, like it's simple movement that allows you to, one, burn some calories, not that we're
Yeah.
counting that, but it allows you to just get that movement in. And as well, for especially the kind of girlies that I work with that are super busy, career driven, like always feel like they're sitting at their desk 24/7, for you to get up and get a walk actually creates time for you, because I can guarantee you that not one person in this world sits at their laptop from, like, say 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. the entire time and is productive the entire time. After an hour
Absolutely
or
not.
two, you're going to be sitting on your phone, scrolling, procrastinating, calling someone, looking at nail appointments, online shopping. You're going to be procrastinating at some point in that time period. You just can't stay focused for that long. So getting out for a walk at your lunch break allows you to come back to work, be more productive, get more done, leave on time without the stress of feeling like you've not got that sense of achievement. That's another motivation box tick that you can then get to the gym after work. So yeah, I'm exactly the same with you. Get out for some movement, get your secret movement in, and allow yourself that refresh point in the middle of the day to come back and be more productive, to create more time for yourself to go to the gym, make a nice meal, whatever it is you want to do.
100%. I think everyone thinks with our jobs that we're like super active. Like, oh my God, you must be so active, like being an online coach. Right. No, hon. I have 2 fucking laptops on the go, 2 phones. Like, I'm literally sat at a desk. So for me, same as you, why we probably find it quite easy to relate to people who are busy, who do have desk jobs, is that I know that I can sit at the desk and be like, shit, I've got 5 things I need to do. At that point, as soon as I thought in my head, what do? I know that's a point that I need to go for a walk, because I know that is my brain going, I don't know what to do next. It's got
Too
fatigued.
much, yeah.
Yeah. So I know that is the time for me to either, sometimes I might go on a 20-minute walk, sometimes it might be a 7-minute walk, which is the block of my house. It doesn't matter. I know at that point, I just go, right, quick walk, come back.
Yeah.
And I feel better, like we were saying before, like cognitive function, because your blood's pumping, you've got oxygen going around your body, like you're having that mental break from the computer. And yeah, and it's secret movement for fat loss. So steps, I always say, we know that there's nothing magic about 10k steps. We know that, but we also know people who do 10k steps get quite good fat loss results. So I always say 10k steps, but at the same time, if you're doing 4k steps, aim for 6, aim for 8. I use the math of 1k steps equals about 7 minutes walking. Stop looking for hours in the day and start looking for 7 minutes.
100%.
I don't know, what do you say about steps, Nick, for your clients? Do you have any
Exactly
top
the
tips?
same. Like, client, like if you don't have time to go for a half hour walk, don't go for a half hour walk. Don't create that stress for yourself. I'm sure some of your clients, like, they've got so much stress on at work, the last thing they need to do is another box to tick that feels unachievable. You can, if you're in the office, park a little further away from the train station and get off a stop early, or get on a stop early if you're on the bus or whatever. Make little decisions that allow you to just walk for an extra 5-10 minutes. Walk to go get a coffee. If you need to go to the bathroom in the office, go to one on a different floor. Just walk, go down
Yes.
a floor and then up a floor or whatever. And then, like, if you're going out to your car to go to the gym or to go to work and you don't have time to go for a walk around the block before you get in your car. Like you're saying, 7 minutes, just 5 to 10 minutes of just simple movement. I always kind of encourage my clients, like every hour and a half that they're working, get up, walk to the bathroom, walk to get a coffee, do something. Just move away from your desk to, one, get movement in, come back, be more productive, to create more time for more movement. So yeah, same as you.
Yeah, 100%. And I think, like, we didn't really touch on, well, we touched on motivation and stuff, but something I will say on motivation is always, and your willpower is always the highest in the morning. So if you are allotting an hour walk, say after work, and you're like, I've got to do that, and it gets skipped because you get to the end of the day and you're tired and you're like, I don't want to do it, get up an hour earlier, because your motivation and willpower to not even motivation, your willpower and discipline is highest in the morning. So you waking up in the morning, you're going to have a lot more likelihood that you're going to go out and get the steps in before work than you are after work. And I think for me, that's something I always do with my clients, is say, get a big chunk of steps done in the morning because of your discipline being higher, rather than thinking, oh my God, after work I have to go and do 6,000 steps.
100%. Don't get to the end of the day feeling like you've still got so much more to tick, because it's not fun.
Yeah.
It's not enjoyable.
Oh, it's so not fun. Yeah, ill. Okay. You, me?
Me,
Confused.
la-
You, okay.
my last one. So
Yeah.
I'm very much a believer that you shouldn't have to, like, if you want to lose weight, you don't need to like cut out your social occasions. However, there is an element of sacrifice that's expected, right?
Yeah.
What I think a lot of women do when they're going out for a meal is they're like, right, I know I'm going out for food tonight, so I'm going to not eat anything through the day so that I can just go and because I'm going to
Splurge.
food, right?
Yeah.
But that typically means you go absolutely starving and ravenous and hungry, and you just eat way more than you probably want to. So my advice, if you are going out for food and you've maybe got like a date night, or you're like girls in the office are going out for dinner after work, whatever, do not go starving. Make sure that you have fueled up on things like we spoke about: volume foods, protein. Get those the nutrients in your body, fill yourself up, don't go to your meal starving, and make a decision based on how you want to feel rather than what is everyone else getting at the dinner table. So like if someone's ordering a burger and chips and you're like, that looks good, and it probably does look good, but is it going to make you feel good? Is it going to align with your goals? Is it going to get you the goal that you're wanting to achieve? Probably not. Cool. Could you get the burger and swap it out for a side salad? Yeah, cool. Okay, there's an option. And then using the other tools that we've used, knife, fork, down between bites, stop when you feel satisfied, and starting to have that
Drink
awareness
water.
about food. Drink water, and yeah, just don't go, if you're going out for food, just don't go starving. Like, fuel yourself
Yeah.
beforehand, because you're going to end up overeating and therefore having that guilt that you've messed up and fucked up, and tomorrow you're going to punish yourself, and then it's a big cycle again.
Exactly. Yeah. I think that's a good one to touch on going into summer. People wanting results, but also managing. We know that summer's a really busy time for like social occasions. And I think going over, and we haven't done this on purpose, but going over what we've covered, the steps of being planned, being organised, knowing you've got a social occasion coming up, what's the plan for it, drinking your water the day of the social occasion. Make sure that if you're going to the social occasion, you're having protein that's going to fill you up before you go. So you're not, like you said before, Nick, like one of the most biggest things that we see people fail on when it comes to dieting is literally not eating enough and then overeating in one go. And like that, it's very easy to do 2,000 calories in like 15 minutes. If you're starving and you've got a Domino's pizza and cheesy chips, not only is that obviously a massive amount of calories, but your body is going to signal to you to eat that as fast as you can because you're so hungry and so depleted in energy. That is why, and I absolutely know people will listen to this, will resonate with this feeling. Whenever you eat something, like when you're hungover or when you're starving, 20 minutes later, you are like, fuck, I feel so full. And that is because you've eaten too much too quick. And this is what we're saying with eating out. If you don't eat all day, or you have a fucking cereal bar and a salad and that's all you've eaten, you then turn up and you're presented with one course for £15, 3 courses for 25. It's a no-brainer. I'm getting 3 courses. I'm starving. You've automatically doubled your calories of what you would have if you just had, I don't know, a protein yogurt and some fruit before you went.
Yep.
Like little things like that.
100%.
Yeah. No, I love that. So, but being planned, being organised, it's not, and I know me and you are both on the same page. Having a social life is healthy. It is not about not having a social life. It's about how you manage the social life. And something you said before, Nick, about we do have to understand that if our previous social life is 3 courses and 2 bottles of wine every time, yes, you're going to have to compromise that, unfortunately, for fat loss. But at the same time, when you say no to something else, such as, no, I'm not going to drink at this social occasion, it's because you're saying yes to your goals. And I think having that mindset shift of, I'm dieting, so I'm missing out on so much and I can't do this. People forget, but you can't do that because you're saying yes to the next time you go out putting on the jeans and they actually fit and you feel nice. That's what you're saying yes to when you're saying no to the 3 courses and the bottle of wine. You're saying yes to that good feeling. And I
Yeah.
think it's reminding yourself of that, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that's a really great way to frame it too.
Yeah. Okay, my last one, and then I've got to have my tea, is sleep. Like my number 5 is if I was starting out and wanted to drop some fat and do all the stuff of being organised, drinking my water, doing my protein, eating my veggies, the one thing I would not be compromising on is getting too little or bad quality sleep. Because with sleep comes a regulation of our hunger hormones, amongst many other magical things. But for fat loss, it's the regulation of energy, motivation, discipline, and hunger hormones, which you need for fat loss.
Yep.
So, do you talk a lot about sleep, Nic, with your clients?
I do. It's not like I encourage. Well, I don't talk about sleep as such, but I encourage my clients to get to bed at a reasonable time. So yes.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So for me, the reason I would say, because this again, I like to bring things up on, like, not once have we said this is how we'd work out our calories or this is the type of workouts we do, because actually, unless you're doing the stuff we spoke about today and implementing this, the fucking calories that you're eating and the workouts that you're doing aren't going to be sustainable because you're not doing all the other good stuff around it. So for me, sleep is like such a vital jigsaw puzzle of fat loss, because again, even if you're doing steps 1 to 4, but you're getting bad quality or less than 6 or 7 hours sleep, you are going to really struggle to stick to just volume foods and protein, because your body would be telling you to eat more carbs because it's so tired, it hasn't had time to re-energize itself from the day before, so it tells you it needs energy. So that's why people have this inability to say no to a cake and a coffee at 10, because they're so tired from the night before. So getting your sleeping when it comes to fat loss is absolutely crucial. I know it can be difficult, and I really hope that in this time next year I am not cursing myself for saying stuff like this, because I'll have a baby and I'll be struggling with sleep. But trying to get optimal sleep and setting yourself up with a nice bedtime routine, not even a nice bedtime routine, like literally don't go on your phone half an hour before you go to sleep so you can actually get to sleep, things like that. But if you are struggling with fat loss and committing to fat loss, start looking at what your sleep hygiene. So we talk about what are you doing an hour before bed? Are you scrolling on your phone in bed? You shouldn't be doing that. Like, and your sleep quality is like, because that will massively impact your ability to make better decisions when it comes to food, when it comes to movement the following day. And that is ours in a nutshell. This podcast was meant to be half an hour. It's not. It's fine. Nic, is there anything else that you would like to add on then? For if anyone is listening and they're like, do you know what, them points were really good, I'm going to start doing all of them to shape up for summer. Is there anything else that you want to add in?
Honestly, no. I feel like there was a lot in there for you to go in action, so go and do it. Accountability is a huge thing. So if you don't have a coach, feel free to message Emily or myself just to say, I listened to the podcast and I found this really helpful, so I'm going to stick this to this, because we'll probably message you in a week and just see how you're getting on. So first things first, but if you don't want to reach out to someone like us, tell it to a family member or a friend or your boyfriend or your husband or whatever, and just have someone hold you to that higher standard that you are capable of.
Yes. I love that about accountability. That is a good one, babe. Yeah. Getting a mate on, getting a WhatsApp group with a mate.
Yeah.
And saying, listen to this podcast, let's do these things together, let's check in together. But like, so Nic, you just said then, actually I forgot to do this at the beginning, tell me and Nic you enjoyed the podcast, tell us what your favourite points is, tell us if you want to ask us anything. What is your Instagram that people can follow you on and message you on, Nic?
Nic Thomson Fit. You can find me on Instagram at Nic Thomson Fit.
Perfect. And mine, which if you listen to this, you may already know, @_em.powered is my Instagram. And as always, I really like to hear how you thought this episode. Is there any questions you want us to, any points you want us to elaborate on? And I'm sure in the future, Nic, you will be back on. Is this the first time you've been on the podcast?
On yours, yeah.
Oh, it's been a long time coming. But babe, I'm gonna say thank you. I'm gonna we'll wrap this up now. But yes, girls, hope you found that helpful. Nic, it was a pleasure chatting to you. Love it, love it, love it. Hopefully we get some nice positive messages from this, and we will catch you next time. So do you want to say bye, Nic?
Thank you guys. Bye.
And as always, guys, thanks for giving us time to listen today. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll speak to you next time. Love you. Bye.